pleased to be joined by Frazer McLaren at this time.
And nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on. It's kind of live, interactive, and we'll start with the fun side of things as well, kind of keep it loose. You had a chance to enjoy some of your summer. I understand you like to spend it on the water. Is that something that you enjoy, being out and sailing, I guess?
Yeah, obviously in the summer you want to spend as much time as you can on the water, and I kind of grew up in a family that sailed a lot, so we spent a lot of time on the sailboat in the summer out at the lake on Lake Winnipeg in Manitoba.
Well, that's a lot of fun, but how was the weather this summer out in Winnipeg for the sailing? Lots of wind usually, but...
What are you, a meteorologist or what?
Absolutely. Well, somebody's got to do it.
It's good. It's always hot there in the summer, lots of wind, and you only get about 2 months of summer there, and then it turns into the Arctic tundra again, but it's usually good for July and August.
Yeah, you know what? It spends time on the water to get rid of those, get away from the mosquitoes. Hey?
Yeah.
It's like the provincial bird.
This is like
isn't
it?
Bash Winnipeg.
Yeah, Bash in Winnipeg. Yeah, there's lots of mosquitoes too. You get thick skin, and then they don't bite you anymore.
You have to have a thick skin to play the way you do. How happy are you to be back along with perhaps line-mate Colton Orr again and try to continue on the work you've established as, being one of the tougher teams in the NHL and making guys accountable?
Yeah, very excited to be back. Phil just asked me if I got a new haircut.
Mid-season hair.
Yeah, excited to be back. I really felt like I found a bit of a home here last year and wanted to stay here and be here for a while. So that's exciting. And yeah, having Colton come back as well is great. He was my line mate for pretty much the whole year, and I think we did well. And Jay McClement there when he bounced around between a couple lines, but he was there a lot. And yeah, so look forward to kind of building on what we started last year.
Now, Frazer, what do you do in the summertime? Everybody, I was in that sort of boat. I was a tough guy when I played too, and everyone used to say, well, you've got to work on your skills in the summer to become a better player. And so what do you do in the summertime? Do you get on the ice and, I guess try to get better at, handling puck, shooting? There's so much training going on nowadays, but what other kind of skill stuff do you do this summer to try and get yourself better?
Yeah, I think, you're always trying to get better as a player, and the skills and the skating. And, we do a lot of stuff earlier in the summer, skating focus. You're skating with bungees, parachutes, trying to get that extra step and work on that stride. And, you do a lot of skills too, stick handling, just back and forth up and down the ice. And, early in the summer, you don't really get into that drills and scrimmages. You're just working on skills and skating. And, even the top skill players are out there in the summer are doing the same thing. So everyone's kind of working to be better.
You know what? I feel very comfortable sitting between you two guys, by the way, very confident. I can play my game now. But with all kidding aside, but as a player, you're a noted tough guy in the NHL, and, some wonderful fights last year, really established yourself here. Do you look around the Eastern Conference? The divisions have changed a little bit. You see what, George Parros going to Montreal now. They got the big Cassian kid in Ottawa. In the offseason, do you take note of that stuff, or is that just kind of water off a duck's back and say, you know what, we'll look forward to seeing that team when we play, and that's just part of the business here in the Eastern Conference now?
Yeah, it's definitely part of the business. You obviously take note. You see who's going where in the summer. I think, any hockey player would be lying if they said they didn't kind of follow what's going on. But, I think that's just the way the Eastern Conference is going. Every team's getting bigger, and I think you look at a team like the Bruins, who won the cup a couple years ago and had a good run last year, and I think teams kind of modeled after their size and big forwards they had up front. So I think a lot of teams are going that way in the Eastern Conference. I know we did last year, and it definitely paid some dividends for us and helped us down the stretch.
Yeah, style of play just seems to be a hot topic when mentioning the Maple Leafs and Randy Carlyle. Are you noticing that the team feeds off the energy through the course of a game, and perhaps yourself individually as well?
Yeah, for sure. They feed off that, and we pride ourselves last year on being the most physical team, leading the league in body checks and blocking shots, and that's kind of the style of play we tried to implement here. And I think it's I think we're going to work towards the ultimate goal while using that kind of structure.
Now, Kyle, a lot of new faces obviously coming into training camp. Different feeling coming in when you get in that locker room with all the new faces?
Yeah, there's not. It's not too much of a different field. There's a couple new faces and a couple guys have left, but so far, the new guys, Bola and Clarkson, they've been really easy to join into the mix, and Bernier too. So it's been an easy transition for those guys. I think everyone's kind of making them feel right at home.
Now, what about for yourself approaching this camp? Because, in years previous, there wasn't a position for you per se.
Yep.
Seems like you've solidified a spot on this roster. So how do you now approach camp? Feel a little bit different, a little more security? Or is there still that, I'm not going to let the likes of a Jamie Devane, a David Brohl, any of these kind of guys that are, might be vying for a similar position to yourself?
Yeah, I think you never want to get comfortable. There's always young guys, trying to fill spots on the team. So, I think every year at training camp you're trying to prove yourself and prove you deserve a spot on the team. No matter what your contract is, you want to earn that spot and you want to be their opening day roster. So I don't think my mindset changes. Obviously used to coming into camp without a secured spot on the team and working really hard to earn that spot. But I think I'll take the same approach and mentality to training camp.